All right. Well, hello, everybody. Let's see how many people we've got on. We've got about 7 people on. Looks like it's a little bit slow today. Oh, it looks like it's Matt's birthday. Happy birthday to Matt. Happy birthday, Matt. Glad you could join us on your birthday. Nemo Unknown, hello to you. Ozman 5151, not happy birthday to you, but hello. Good to see you on. And Ron, good morning. Glad everybody's wishing Matt happy birthday. I love this community. It's a great community here. Good that we're all nice to each other. I dig that. Hey, and TBA's on. David Smith. El Rondo. As always, man, great to see you. Great to see you. Gang and gangsters. Robbie Love, happy to have you on. Happy Matt Day. Love it. Hey, somebody let me know that you can hear me okay. And we will get started momentarily. And hopefully we'll go. I am feeling pretty good. It's been a rough week here in the U.S. for a lot of people. It's been a crazy week. Of course, I'm talking about the weather in the Northeast. I'm not getting any feedback for people saying that they can hear me or not, so I'm a little bit worried at this point that you can't hear me. Okay, it looks like El Rondo's saying the audio is okay. Sound and sync is good. Good. Glad to hear it. Okay, so first of all, happy end of the week here, and I hope you're all having a great weekend. It's great weather here. I was able to get out and fish yesterday, which is awesome. And we will get started. Hey, Peter, good to see you. Todd Adams, welcome. Glad you're on. And as I don't know if I said hi to TBA, but hello. Phil Zacharias, good to see you. All right, let's get going. So I'm going to keep this a little bit short today. Just a little bit of news before I get going to my usual thanks is my daughter has gone independent, which is great. It's great news. And so I'm going over to her apartment. She's having a little apartment warming party. Isn't that cool? Anyway, it starts at 1 o'clock here, so that means I got to leave in about 40 minutes or so. But isn't that cool? I mean, my daughter's doing it. She's got a job last week. Oh, lovely. Great stuff. Hey, Eugenio. Good. Hello to you. All right. So we'll get going with the improv. As always, I want to thank everybody who donated in the past, especially in the past week. Really, really appreciate all the donations. And if you haven't yet, stop by my Teachable. If there's something there that you'd like to get, that's always appreciated as well. I'm going to tell, for all the sneak preview of the people who are watching, I have 2 bundles that are up there, the Classic Rock bundle and the R&B bundle. Those are going to grow over time, but you can buy them at the price that they are right now, and you're in. So whatever gets added to those bundles then will be yours. So the price will go up as I add stuff in, but if you buy it, you'll just get it. All right, anyway, for what it's worth. If you don't want to buy it, it's okay too. I don't want to be pushy here. All right, more room for your guitars. Oh my God. I'm selling some of these guitars too. Not this one though. This one plays too well. I love how this plays. Okay, thank you, Peter. Oops, I missed something from, it looks like I missed something from Bertrand. Hey, that was great chatting with you this morning, Bertrand. Really enjoyed that. And I will post the blues that you have up there. Nothing really political on there, so it's just good blues. so that's cool. Let's see. T-Buzz says, so empty nester, quick buy 1-bedroom condo so she can't move back in. I wouldn't. If she needs to come back in, she's welcome. But I'm not quite an empty nester. I have one to go. Okay, yeah, and we all want to wish Matt a happy birthday before we get going. Okay, so I'm going to do the improv. We're going to start out with a little rock number, and I'll move this down. So you can see what I'm playing. But and then we'll talk about it. Okay. So here we go. We got 16 people on. That's enough for now, and we'll get going. All right. Let's let it soak in. A little Led Zeppelin sort of thing here. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much straight blues rock, and hope you enjoyed that one a little bit. Hope you enjoyed that one a little bit. So just kind of working really the Mixolydian and the normal blues rock channels on that one. Obviously, I'm using some major stuff, trying to use some drones and stuff like that. So, just to give you an idea of sort of what I'm thinking, right? So it's kind of a heavy Zeppelin sort of thing that's going on there. Had real heavy beat there, blues rock. And so I'm using basically a combination of a few things there. If you think about it from scales point of view, the stuff that's going to sound good over that A chord is, you know, the standard minor pentatonic. You know, or blues scale. And so that's going to sound really good. And also a lot of the Mixolydian is going to sound good, right? Or using that major third of the A. So you heard me bend. I hope you heard me bending a lot from that major third, actually to the going not to the minor third, The usual thing is to bend that minor third to the major like this. And that sounds great. What I was trying to do in this one was bend from the major third to the fourth. That kind of stuff. To me, that always sounds a little bit Eastern, and I like that. And, you know, similar sort of thing, when I think of Mixolydian, I often think of what I've got in my head is the sound to Within You, Without You by the Beatles. And so I'm trying to do a lot of that stuff too. So, for example, on the on the A chord, if I take the A Mixolydian, which is this, that's the A Mixolydian. Then what I can do is I can use the open droning notes. Kind of sounds like Within You, Without You, and try to drone to those strings. So. That kind of stuff. I just think that's kind of a cool sound. I dig it. And so I was trying for a lot of that. Honestly, on the other stuff, I was either, when it ever went to the D chord or the E chord, I was doing one of three things. I was playing, or one of four things. One is I was playing the minor pentatonic, the A minor pentatonic, which always works. As most of us know, if you're playing an A blues, the A minor pentatonic is going to work over all of those chords. You're going to sound like everybody else when you play, right? The note choices are going to be like everybody else. But it's okay. It always works. There's a reason why everybody plays it, and that's because it sounds good. So that's one. The other thing you can do, or that I often did, was I would play the D Mixolydian, which is the G major scale. Okay, same notes. So D Mixolydian would be. That would be that. Let me kick off the distortion pedal here for a second. That would be the G Mixolydian, the D Mixolydian. And so that's going to work really well over that D chord because it gives it over that D7 chord because it has a bit of an edge with the flatted seventh. So that's another thing I'm doing. And then, and oddly, you can do that over the E chord as well because E and G are related to each other, right? E minor is the relative minor to the key of G. So those two things kind of work pretty well together. And then the other thing you can do is just play via the chords. So you heard a lot of this kind of stuff that I was trying to do. That kind of stuff. And that's really kind of going off of the chords, basically. Here is going to work because that's a D chord. This is going to work because it hits this flatted 7. There's a G chord there. That right there, that's going to work. That's the flatted 7th of the D, and stuff like that. So, playing chordally is always or is often a really strong thing. So that's it. I'm not really thinking of a lot of things in terms of what I'm going to use, but those are the basic tools that I'm using. And I'm just trying to think of, what are lines that might sound good. So it's really trying to translate what I'm thinking in my head through here using kind of those tricks of the trade. And when I'm saying, hey, I think about this or that, when I think about this or that, it's really not during the play. When I'm playing, I'm really just thinking about what I'm trying to make it sound like. And those tools are just coming out. So the practice is sort of like, when I'm practicing before I play, I might think about, what can I play over the A chord? Well, I could play, a minor pentatonic. What else could I play? Well, I could just play the notes of the chord. That kind of stuff. I could just play the notes of the chord. I could play Mixolydian. So I think about that beforehand, but then when I'm playing, I'm not really thinking about that at all. I'm really just thinking about sort of what do I want it to sound like? That's what I'm trying to do anyway. Sometimes I get a little bit lost and I think, okay, now I need to go to a good note. And I'll tell you, at least when I think about when I want to go to a good note, I try and play a note of a chord. When I'm consciously thinking of it, I try and play a note of a chord or bend to it. So I could bend to that major third of an A if I'm playing an A. That's always good. Or I could play a root. That's always good. Just something to think about. So let me see if there's any questions. Mr. Thomas V didn't receive a wake-up call. Thank you, Phil. You guys are too kind. Were you just following pentatonic scales up and down the neck? So hopefully, Peter, I was showing you that that's not what I was really doing. Although you can do that, right? So if you know the pentatonic scales, major and minor, up and down the neck, you can do a lot of what I was just doing, right? So you've got the A major pentatonic scale. That really works well. And the minor pentatonic. And you hear me kind of going between the two. I just can't help myself. It's just something that I do, and it's really an ear thing translated through the fingers over time. But yeah, so all right. Did I have it pre-planned or was I improvising? No, it's all improvised, Phil or Peter. I mean, it's not like I've never played that chord progression before. I have, but it's all improvised. Also, licks you can get back to if you get sucked. Yeah, that's true. So definitely, there's licks that work a lot, and there's little I was listening to Rick Emmett talk about how to do a solo, and it's pretty interesting how he does it. There were some things I didn't necessarily agree with, although he's a fantastic player, or I don't ascribe to, I should say, and not like I was disagreeing with him. Not something I really strive to do, but one of those things is if you don't want it to do something like or hit open strings. In rock, you can do that. If you're playing classical or some jazz or really laid back stuff, you can't do that because you get yourself into trouble playing crap. But in rock, a lot of it is just the rhythm. If you can stay in rhythm, then you're good. So when I make a wrong note, I guess I treat it like jazz. I make a wrong note, I'm just going to make another wrong. I'm going to hit another note until it's right, and try and keep on time. Just don't stop. Does my daughter work with guitars at her new job? No, she works with animals. She is an animal nut. She loves animals. And when I say this, I mean she likes wildlife too, snakes, foxes, turkey vultures, stuff like that. So she works with animals. Yeah, cool stuff. I'm impressed, actually, really impressed. Not too many people would do that. David Smith, Rick was an underrated guitarist, singer-songwriter, also a great acoustic player. Yeah, agree. I don't, it's another one of those things, underrated. Again, I wouldn't say that. I would say he's underappreciated, people, or unknown relative to how good he is. But underrated, I'm okay if you say that. I'm going to try and get off my soapbox on that. I just have a pet peeve about that word, maybe. I don't know. But I admit it's a pet peeve of mine. What other scales or modes can be used to solo over minor chords? Well, there's lots of things that you could do over minor chords. You can obviously use minor pentatonic. You can obviously use a different minor pentatonic sometimes. So you play the minor pentatonic of a different chord. You can play different modes, which is really kind of the same thing, right? So you could play Dorian mode, which is kind of the normal minor seventh. Let's try it. There's an A minor, right? So that's the A minor pentatonic. That works great. You can play Dorian mode. play Phrygian, or Phrygian, I'm sorry, I always messed it up. I learned it as Phrygian, so I still say that. It slips out. I wish it didn't, but yeah, so you could play that. That would be what? I guess, what would that be? It's kind of a Spanish, Middle Eastern flavor. So, you can do that kind of stuff. Yeah, so lots of good stuff you can do over minors, minor chords. Somebody said something about that the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, minor chords, please. Okay, let's see. El Rondo says she's a butcher now. No, well, sort of. So one of the things, she takes care of foxes, and they have to give them meat and chicken parts and roadkill. So part of the thing is like looking for roadkill. If they find a deer, she has to take that apart. So yeah, she can do that stuff. Why not? Girls can do that. Tomorrow's my dog's birthday. Hey, happy birthday to your dog. Lindsay Barkingham. That's so funny. Love it. I love that. Okay, let's do another one. This one's going to be totally different, folks. And let me just see that I remember the chord progression on this one. Because it's a little bit more difficult than just 4-chord thing. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so before I get going, so I want to address. I see Phil came up with a question. Can I play something in the wrong key to let us hear the difference? So I will do that on this song. Okay. So we're going to listen to the. I'm going to listen to the chord changes first, and then we'll start playing. I'll tell you what. I'll start playing in the wrong key. You'll hear it right away. Sometimes it doesn't matter. In something like this, though, it does. So you're really gonna have to pay attention to I really have to pay attention to the chord changes. Okay. And I'll tell you how I'm thinking. So here it is. This is a little bit chill, it's like, ooh baby. I'm gonna take you home, get you on the couch, give you some spinach dip, or whatever. Okay. Cool chord there. Okay, gotta get into character here. Okay, so let's try and play something in key first, so we'll hear. We can do better than that. Let's see if we can do better. Okay, now let's play out of key, okay? Sounds pretty pretty awful, right? Okay, let me get back into character now. All right. Enough. Enough. That's just so mellow. I can just play it all day. I love playing that stuff. All right. So, there you go. So that one, obviously not a rock song at all. And I don't know if I lost every listener on that one. Probably did. Wouldn't be surprised. I love that kind of stuff because it's just, I love the Lee Ritenour and Larry Carlton stuff of the 70s and 80s. It was just great stuff. Hey, yeah, what happened to Geert? I haven't seen him in a long time. Good question. So, Phil, hopefully you saw what happened when I played in the wrong key there. It really sounded bad. Now you can play outside stuff, which I did on a couple of things. You could hear in there, some intentionally, some not intentionally. Yeah, on this I can tell you my thinking on this one. Now this I didn't really improvise beforehand, so I just kind of looked at the chords and were just kind of noodling around, trying to find something that was maybe somewhat melodic. But I played it once before we joined. But this one, I can tell you my thinking on this. So let's look at the chords as we play this song. I'm going to play through the chords first, okay? And I'll try and keep them simple. I'm going to keep triads and maybe majors and maybe seventh chords, but just triads, okay? Nothing weird stuff, okay? Let's see. So if I play the whole thing through, okay, so this is a F, G, C, C diminished, C sharp diminished, F, G, and C, and then a 2-5-1, G minor, C7, and a F7, A flat, C, A7, and now just the normal, F, G, and to the one chord, C. Okay, so if we look at that chord structure, we start out with an F or an F major 7, then go to a G7, and then a C7, and then a C, let's say major 7. So that's just the key of C, right? We've got the F is very similar to a D minor 7, so we've basically got a 2-5-1 in C, right? So this is all key of C. Then there's a transition chord there, which goes C, which is a C sharp diminished. That's a good place to play outside. Or you can just simply play something like a bluesy sort of thing. That would work as well. And I did that a lot, right? And the key thing is that note right there. You can play a lot of stuff that you can play diminished scale, which I did. That kind of stuff you can play, or just that's going to work really well as long as you transition to a chord tone when you come out of it, right? So you got to be really careful. So you're going back to that F. So here's a good chord tone right there. That A, which is the third of F, is a perfect chord tone. So you can play that a line like this. Let's say you're playing the C to C sharp diminished, right? And then we're going to go back to that F. And you can play this diminished line really nicely. This is kind of double diminished. That third of F is beautiful, right? Sounds really great. So you're playing outside, but you have to, when you come back, you have to come back really strong on a chord tone. So sounds good. And when you're playing over a transition chord like that, I find it's really easy just to play an arpeggio or a scale, because it's weird enough that people aren't going to know it. You just can't play it every time. So sometimes you just ignore that weird diminished. So anyway, over that F and the G to the C, just play a C major scale or C major pentatonic. So here's what I think. When I'm going through this and playing the song, now I don't always do it this way, but this is what I did today. I looked at the chord structure. I said, okay, my home chord, my home scale, I'm going to take a scale approach to this. And my home scale is a C major pentatonic. That's it. Or a C major. Not major pentatonic, C major scale. So I'm thinking C major scale, unless I'm playing a chord that doesn't fit there. So let's look at the other chords. So the next chords go F, G, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 1 to C7 or to C major 7. Again, that's good. But then on the 4, there's a 2 5 1 to F. So it goes G minor, C9 or C7, you know, C dominant, to an F major 7. Okay? So because of that, there's a transition to F major. So when it hits that G minor 7 to C to F, I'm already thinking, okay, I'm playing over that scale. I transition from C major to F major. And so that's how I handled that one. And then once I get to F major, it's weird. I've got to play chord by chord because it goes F to an A flat. That happens a lot in music because where you're going up a minor third. We know that in blues, right? So think about Smoke on the Water. I'll play it the wrong way. That second chord is a minor third, and it works really well. Totally different sound in this song, but it's the same idea. Amazing, right? So because of that, you know, an F blues scale will work. There's lots of stuff that will work, but I mostly thought about, okay, I'm going to a weird chord, this A flat. So I'm just going to try and play the notes of the chord. That's it. That's all I'm going to try and do. And then when I go to a C, I'm back in my home. I'm back at home. C major pentatonic. And then it goes to an A7, also a weird chord. So I'm just going to try for hitting that chord, the chord tones. That's it. That's it. That's all I was doing. And then if I'm trying to be melodic, so I'll try and find a really close chord tone, right? I don't want to find a chord tone that's really weird. So it's important to kind of know the triads all over the neck. And then we're back to home, because at the end, then it goes just F to G, back to C. Okay, so let me show you now. I'll play it, and I'll do it while I'm playing. I'll try and explain the best I can. I'll probably mess up a lot, but let's start out. So I'm going to start out in a home key of C. You'll see. Okay, here's the diminished. Back in C. Now here's the transition. Now I'm in F. Now here's that A flat, C, A. Now I'm back in C. And that's it. So that's, I think, a technique that if you're comfortable with a particular scale. Now, I've learned scales over a long period of time. I've sort of forced myself to be not a scale player. I used to be a modal player all the time, and I would just wail on the modes, play that kind of crap. And I still revert back to that sometimes when I'm lost and I don't know what to do and I don't have good ideas. I overplay. But I try not to do that. And so I've tried to become more of a melodic player, a player of ideas, and using my ear more. And I've also tried to force myself to understand how to play through chords. And so you'll hear a lot of that. But one really strong technique is to just play one scale that you know really well, pick the parent scale, and then every chord in that progression that doesn't fit in that scale, just play the notes of the chord. It's amazing how well that works and makes you sound good. So, yeah. All right, so let me take some questions, and then I think I got to go. I got to go early today and go to my daughter's apartment warming. Well, let's see. Wrong key sounds normal to me. That's pretty funny. This remark shows his depth of music. Thank you. How much music theory have you studied, Mark? Read guitar. It's also, first of all self-taught. Okay, I just want you to know that. I studied a little bit, but honestly, the main thing that I know is the major scale. I learned the major scale really well, all over, and in every key. And some I'm better with others. I mean, I can play the notes to C more quickly than I can to play the notes to E flat or something like that. It's just normal, I think. But yeah. So I know the major scale, and all the modes fall out of the major scale. Once you know the major scale, you know automatically all the modes. I didn't learn pentatonics till later, which is kind of weird. I mean, I knew the blues box position, but that's it. And the rest, is just sort of self-study. Yeah. Question of the day: what percentage of playing lead is memorization versus knowing patterns? What are the top 3 things to straight up memorize for playing guitar in general? Okay, that's a great question. So I'm very against pattern play, but I use it. And I think people overuse patterns all the time, and it makes us sound like robots. So I love trying to listen to other players and try and listen to maybe even trumpet solos and stuff like that, vocal solos, so that I can translate that to guitar. I just feel like my play gets a lot more interesting when I do that. Having said that, here's what I think you should do. You should know, first of all, I've been on my soapbox on this for many times. You should know the notes of the fretboard. If you don't know the notes of the fretboard, quit everything else and do that first. And I'm not saying that you have to only do that, but don't give yourself an excuse to say, I don't need to know. I don't need to know that the 3rd string 9th fret is an E. I don't need to know that. Yes, you do. You do, because it's going to make your life a lot easier. A lot easier. Every piece of theory that you learn, it's helpful if you know that that's an E. And that this right here is a G sharp. Because G sharp, for example, is the 3rd of E. So I know that's there. That's the 3rd of E. So that's going to be a great sounding thing that I can either bend to or play straight. Or if I'm playing over an E chord. All right. So there's that. You should definitely know, if you're going to play lead, you should pick up one scale system. It doesn't don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It does not matter which one, but you need to be good with it and fluent. So, and confident. Confident is the most important thing. So if it's minor pentatonic, God bless. Go ahead and do that. If it's the major scale, great. If it's you want to be a modal player, whatever. It doesn't matter. Pick one thing only, do it and get comfortable with it. And get musical with it. Okay? And then beyond that, I think it's really helpful to know your major and minor chords. If you know your major and minor chords and all the partial chords, then you're in good shape. For example, if you know that this, for example, is an A, and that this is an A minor, and that this is an A minor, that this is an A minor, that this is an A minor, this is an A minor, this is an A minor. The more you know with that kind of stuff, this is an A minor, the more you know with that kind of stuff, the better it's going to be, because you can easily get the chord tones. And playing chord tones is what's going to make you sound good. When you're in doubt, if somebody's playing over an A, all those notes on an A are going to sound great. They're all going to sound great. So if you're looking in a way to memorize, first thing is get the notes of the fretboard down. Second thing is get one scale pattern. And third is to get your major and minor triads all over the place. That's it. Know them fully and partially, and your lead play is going to be so much better because you'll be able to move very fluently. And listen to a lot of music. Listen to a lot of music. All right, great question. Let's see. Mr. 2000 Explorer. Hey, 2006 Explorer. Good to see you. It's been a while. Hey, Rondo. Smoking jacket on the water. First A is parallel. Second A is dominant. Okay. I don't know if you were talking about but the first one was the A flat was parallel, but the A7, that was a dominant chord. Plan intervallic, know the chords. Yeah, definitely. Phil M, Nissan 570 and others are concerned. Don't be late. Okay, I'm not understanding that. Okay, Gerardo Sosedo, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, well, I don't see any more questions. So normally I do a lot of questions and stuff like that. We just got up to 46. I'm so sorry that I've got to leave early, but I really do. Once again, I hope you enjoyed this. Put in the comments below after this goes up, or you can put in the comments here the stuff that you would like to see on live streams. If you dig like me improvising and then going over what my thinking was, I like doing that too. It's not so hard for me, so I enjoy it. I need to work on my improvisation to get better. I feel like I could definitely improve on that, so it's fun to do. So let me know if it's a particular rock genre. If it's Eagles songs, forget it. I can't do that. I can play the Eagles, but it'll get taken down. So yeah, put the stuff in the comments. Thank you all so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. We're going to do more of these. I don't know if I can quite do them every Sunday, but I'm going to do more. Oh, geez, I forgot to even tell everybody this. So I'm taking off the guitar. Can't come back to it now. But just for everybody, I left my employer this week. So I'm back on my own again. And I'm going to try and put in a lot more time into music because I enjoy it and all of that. So now more than ever, I appreciate all your support and all the support you can give me. So I just wanted to let you know that, and I'm going to give it back to you by doing more live streams and hopefully putting up more stuff that's even better content. So that's that. So let me know what other things we can do on these live streams, and if I can do them, if I think I can do them well, then I'll do them. All right. If I don't think I can do them justice, then I can't. I'd love to sit around and chat, but I'll just say goodbye, ta-ta. And remember, if you're at all interested, the rock bundle and that you can find from my Teachable down below, which is where I keep all the tabs. Oh, I need more product to put in my hair. Which is where I keep my tabs that you get from the YouTube now in Teachable. My Teachable is linked below. And remember that the rock bundle and the R&B bundle are going to grow. And you can lock in that now if you want. You pay one price and it's just going to keep the material in there is going to keep growing. So, all right, folks. Have a great rest of the Sunday. And appreciate you coming by. And happy birthday again to Matt. Thank you, El Rondo, for the super chat. Super chats also always really appreciated. I'll tell everybody. It's none of this is mandatory, of course, and I don't expect it, but it's really nice when it happens. Do appreciate. Okay, so for all of you who came, thank you so much. We will see you on down the road. We'll see you maybe next week. Okay. Bye-bye. Ta-ta. Sorry, I just saw Phil's comment. Yes, much appreciated, Phil. Really appreciated it. Thank you. And I fixed those links too. So thank you for that. Thank you for telling me just about the links that were broken. That was priceless. Somebody else told me earlier, and I was too dumb to really realize that I made a mistake. But thank you. Okay, we'll see you. Now I got to go.